Okay, I have got one additional practice method that I want to demonstrate using the ILEX tool. And the version that I have right now, this is my version for class, because I think this is really useful to students who are just starting out their identification. So let's just say that we're 3 weeks into the semester. So I have my 3 weeks. These are all the species students have learned in the first 3 weeks of the semester. And then I have filtered them and I'm going to practice this group, right? So my button up here in the top left. And I'm going to use the tool called Custom Identify. So this is a tool that we just added. I'm really excited to see how it works. And it helps students by helping them pay attention to key characteristics and filtering them so they narrow their options. One of the things we realize in dendrology is it's really easy to start out with what I call the Rolodex method, where you consider a species that you need to identify and you think about every one of the species that you've already learned to think whether it's that and then no, that, no, and go through that whole list. Instead, it's much, if students can narrow their options to pay attention to things like leaf complexity and leaf arrangement, it really helps them get a sense for learning that identification and also narrowing down their choices. So this custom identify, I'm going to turn on this button that is use filters. So it's filter assistance, which helps students filter down their options. And then I'm going to filter by leaf complexity, whether the species is simple or compound, and then leaf arrangement, whether the species is alternate, opposite, or world leaf arrangement. And continuing to go down, I wanted to show you also, you can put numerous images in your quiz, up to 3 images. So sometimes that can be helpful, especially for certain features. And then I'm going to just scale this down to fewer questions just because this is a demonstration. And the minimum number of answer choices, I think that's kind of governed itself. And then the image types, right? So I can click on what kinds of images I want to see. And in this case, I'm just going to click on leaves because that is, that's what I'm focusing on, right? If I'm filtering by leaf arrangement and complexity, then it makes sense to do leaves. So let's start our practice. And so this first plant you see, I have my 3 photos that I specified. And then I can choose the correct tree straight from this list, right? That I can drop down. And this list includes all of the species that we learned in the first 3 weeks. So all the species that I just filtered on the ILEX tool. But I can make life easier for myself if I filter, and I can look at these photos in turn to see that this is indeed a compound leaf and an alternate leaf arrangement. And that narrows down my options. So this is poison ivy. And I'm correct there. It'll also tell you where you've gone wrong if you misidentify a species or if it's not appearing on your list. And so this species, right, looks like it is simple and alternate. So that simple and alternate is the most popular choice. So it doesn't narrow down our options all that much, but I'm going to look at my choices here and let's look at this image a little more closely. I think this is Simplocos tinctoria or sweetleaf, right? And it shows that I'm correct. Okay, so here I have a needle leaf, right? These are alternate, so that doesn't narrow my choices anymore. And then these are the pines that we've learned, pines and hemlocks that we've learned so far in those first 3 weeks of the semester. So I'm going to say that's Pinus rigida. And we have simple, and let's say I misread this and look for opposite. And I can't see the choice, right? This is persimmon, Diospyros virginiana. And I'm not seeing the correct choice here because it's only showing opposite leaf plants. So I'm going to choose Chionanthus, right? So leaf shape is pretty similar. Check my work, and it shows that where I went wrong, right? So my filter was wrong. So it shows that the correct filter would have been alternate, and then it shows the correct species name. And this I have simple and alternate. And we have sourwood here. again, simple and alternate. I wish I had some more examples, but this is definitely what students see the most often. And so you can see that this is a really useful tool. I would say, especially early on when students are learning, when you're learning leaf characteristics, this is a great way to start paying attention to those characteristics when you're learning how to identify species.